going back to what you were saying about architecture school and studio in general, the thing I didn't learn until I got there was how do you make not just like a business proposal, but like a case for the thing that you want? Like, how do you make a proper business case? How do you speak so that people actually hear you? Because I was yelling at the top of my lungs, like, hey, this is going to change everything. They're like, okay, how? And I couldn't tell them. I just kind of knew it. And so what I found is I needed to speak the right language. Talk about money, talk about recurring revenue, talk about the business model that we currently have, talk about how you're going to solve X, talk about this problem and the pain point it is and why the solution is so, so great. I learned how to make pitch decks. I learned how to speak as an executive, right? Which is ultimately like you speak concisely and straight to the point and get to where folks are trying to go. I learned so much about how to do this. And by the time I learned all that, I realized I actually don't need to be here anymore. Like I can do this on my own. And I realized for a lot of folks that I'd seen as they were going through these same things, they were kind of having the same realization as well. It's like, not so much that, the architecture firm was going to hold them back, but that the whatever kind of firm in the AEC world was going to hold them back, but just like you weren't aligned anymore because the business model that makes you money makes total sense to you and you should continue to do it. And the business model that you're trying to force on people, it just wasn't going to take. And so, yeah, ultimately, like after pitch deck after pitch deck after pitch deck, it was like, well, why am I pitching to you? Why don't I just pitch to an investor? Or why don't I just pitch myself and like try and solve this problem in a different way? So that, of course, is the story across like 6 or 7 years or something like that of learning. But it's proven by the fact that you've seen, like you said, multiple firms spin out of architecture firms. They couldn't really exist there because the two things were in conflict, which is ultimately a shame because as I see it, architecture firms are the number one best incubator you could have for something like this. There's going to be so much feedback, and these incredible feedback loops are what you need in order to make something thrive. And the most forward-thinking, open-minded, yes and kind of people are architects. So like, why wouldn't you want to be there? But I think we're still not quite there yet.